Welcome to Deathmatch and Chill. My name is Dom,
I'm Colt.
and today we're going to be going over the EA Play. We're going to start off with the Battlefield stuff, and then we're going to go over what XDefiant, and then everything else at EA Play. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So Battlefield 2042 at EA Play, I think was awesome. I don't have any other sentiment. It was fucking great, personally.
I agree.
The only complaint that I had about this show was that they kind of blackmailed us with Battlefield 2042. So I actually recorded that it took 42 minutes after the official start time to get to Battlefield 2042, which is cool because I think we were both pleasantly surprised by the other stuff that was at EA Play, but they really did hold us hostage to watch the whole thing for Battlefield, and they knew it, right? I'm not sure if that was just my opinion on it, but anyway. So, beginning with Battlefield 2042, the biggest thing is Battlefield Portal. Man, that looks so fucking cool. And I think we're both on the same page that this is going to be. We were talking about it earlier, where it's going to seem like an innovation in FPS, and that this is going to be truly like transforming the industry, I think.
It definitely has potential too, for sure.
Yeah, and I remember our first episode was, will Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite change the face of FPS? Will it innovate? And I think we can kind of answer that question now. Yes, they will, right? At
Yeah.
least Battlefield will.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean, this is something completely new. I mean, they've had map editors before, like Far Cry 5, I think, had a map editor in it, but
Yes.
this takes that to a whole new level.
Yeah. And I think because I don't believe you'll be able to edit maps in this one, but you'll be able to edit fucking modes. Maybe they will come out with map editor somewhere down the line, but like right now, I mean, it's so cool that you're able to take all of these different games and combine them into one. Um, and this isn't something we talked about directly, but do you think that they chose Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and 1942, specifically those games, to come with at launch? Because they had a lot of other Battlefield games that they could have gone with. Why did they go with those ones in particular?
I think it's that way you can have the huge variety. You get World War II, modern, slightly future.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, character models are similar, and a lot of the guns, if I remember correctly, a lot of the guns are the same too, so I don't you'd be overlapping a lot of content, I think.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, I wasn't too much into Battlefield 3, so I don't know too much about that game. But I did play Bad Company 2, and if I remember correctly, Bad Company 2 had a strong, like, I don't know if it took place during the Cold War era, like Vietnam War era, but that was the strong vibe I got from those games, from Bad Company 2. Although it's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure what era Bad Company 2 is.
Yeah, but it would be cool if they did, like, do that if that was the plan. I mean, we were talking earlier where we think they might add Battlefield 4 and maybe Battlefield. I don't know if they would do 1 and 5 because they already have 1942, but they might do some Battlefield 4 like maps or something later on down the line and keep that, in the loop, keep that with Portal. Um, that would be super sick, but I hope they do that.
Yeah.
Oh, so one thing that I noticed in the trailer, and I'm not sure if you caught it, I actually forgot to mention it earlier, was there was a tracking dart that this dude shot onto an airplane, and and then a guy fired a launcher, and it was able to follow that tracking dart, which was fucking cool. Did you catch that?
I did see that. I'm wondering if that's a 2042 thing, 'cause I can't recall that being in any of the past
Yeah, I don't
Battlefields.
remember that. Let me check and see, because I have the trailer pulled up right now, so this should be playing. Let me see if I can get to that part, and then see. Was it, no, That's over right here. Here it is. So yeah, he's got like this pistol. It shoots it into an airplane, and then the dude is okay. So here's what doesn't make sense about this whole scene right here, because I have it pulled up. The dude fires an RPG, and it follows this tracking dart. Does that make sense to you? Because the RPG is supposed to be, I mean, typically that's a free fire launcher. I don't know what this whole tracking is. I've never seen an RPG that was able to follow something.
I mean,
in games.
Since I feel like realistically, yeah, like you can't guide an RPG, but with it being near future, I feel like that's something you can kind of get away with, because maybe there's some sort of tracker in the warhead of the RPG, but
you know what, man? That gets me thinking, what if that's a customization feature where you could customize parts of the types of rockets that you're using? That would be fucking sweet.
That would be pretty dope.
Actually, yeah, I
but
didn't even think about that.
The other thing too is it's two separate people. So one person fires the dart into the plane, and another person shoots the rocket. So then, would you have to have someone on your squad with that dart gun?
That would be cool. I hope they stick with that, because that's like one of the mechanics in Battlefield 4. You know, the recon class. I to be honest, man, Battlefield 4 is like the Battlefield game I played the most of. I cannot speak to other Battlefield games like that. Yeah, but I could do that with Call of Duty. I can't do it with Battlefield though. But I know the tracking dart system in Battlefield 4 was really cool. I felt like it was really balanced. And so if they did something like that, like maybe you could customize the parts of your rockets or the types of rockets that you're using, and then some of those synced up with other classes, that would be fucking sweet. I don't know though. That's a little bit of speculation. That sounds like a Jack Frag video, actually. But anyway, so they're gonna be it's gonna be community driven with mix and match modes, which sounds so cool. So you'll be able to take all these different assets from all these different games and combine them. To be honest with you, I don't know about you, the mix and match mode wasn't what got me. What got me was that you're going to have this game, but you're going to have essentially 4 other games with it, remastered copies of these other games. And that's what struck me. It's like, if you want to go play World War II all of a sudden, you can go do that. You can go find a TDM, a DOM, whatever on these World War II maps and with World War II guns. Or you could do it with Bad Company 2. Or you could do the mix and match. To be honest, though, the mix and match wasn't what excited me, though. I don't know about you.
I think I'm in the opposite camp of you. The mix and match to me was what really got me, because I think it'd be cool to see like 2042 or modern versus World War II, similar to like what they showed with that, like, what was it, a 4 or 5 man squad versus like 20 World War II. Like, I think that kind of stuff's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I'm playing it right now just so we can have that on loop. But yeah, what's on right now is the defibs versus the knives, which it looks cool. It looks like it'll be fun. Where I'm at, I feel like it'll be the novelty, you know, with me. Like, so I'll probably experiment with those modes. Once I settle in, though, that's gonna be riddled with unbalanced nonsense. You know what I mean? I could just see it. Because to be realistic, is the World War II shit really even going to hold up? I mean, because it's going to be a bummer to me if you have a World War II tank going up against a modern tank and the World War II tank comes out on top. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how are they going to balance that?
With Viet...
Or are they not even going to care about balance?
When they first talked about it, they said it was going to be unbalanced. That there wasn't. It was basically going to be a game mode that you could basically go in to have fun, and there was going to be like no balancing. And if you're creating the map, like creating the game modes and everything like that, like it's kind of up to you to like balance it then.
Yeah, I could see that. So you think maybe within the map editor or something, you'd be able to boost, like, so if the World War II tanks came in with less armor or something, do you think if you went into the game mode you could actually boost those to make them equivalent? If you could, that would be pretty sweet.
I don't know if you could boost their armor, but what you could probably do is make it so there's no World War II like tanks that spawn.
Oh, okay, so the World War II side would have access to modern tanks.
Yeah, potentially, or you could make
I'd
it
be
to
cool
where
with that.
there's. I would assume you can make it where there's no vehicles
Mm,
and just have it just pure boots on ground
straight
gunfight.
up infantry. That would be sweet, man. To be honest with you, that sounds like it addresses one of my big concerns, because the problem that a lot of people have with Battlefield is that people are too fucking good in these vehicles. It would be so nice to be able to play a Conquest with no vehicles. Like, I just thought about that. Like, if you just get sick of the vehicles or something for a minute, go fucking play Conquest without them.
Right.
That sounds sweet.
In 2042, though, to be honest, I see vehicles being less of a problem, especially if you can take away one of your gadgets and add a rocket or a rocket launcher to any
Yeah.
class. I feel like,
Yeah, then you have no reason to not use it.
yeah, and then, I mean, some people will, some people won't. Like, it depends, because I think they said that it would take the place of, like, if you're playing support, for example, it would take the place of your ammo crate. So you wouldn't be able to throw ammo for your team, but it might be one of those things where it's worth it, where maybe you have two supports, one runs ammo and one runs a rocket.
That would be cool. That actually sounds sweet, because then you could have the same class but with like two different roles, which is something you really couldn't do before.
Right.
So that sounds actually really cool, and then you could have whatever weapons you wanted on there too. So, fuck, that sounds okay. Yeah, hopefully it's like that. But maybe if they're giving everybody a rocket, they might boost the health of these tanks. I don't know. I know in the past, like especially Battlefield 4, you had to have 2 or 3 people with rockets shooting enemy tanks. I hope that's not the case with 2042. I hope more people are using rockets, I should say.
Right.
Some of these game modes, I'm not sure if you got this impression. So one thing that draws me to the Battlefield franchise is I love those Battlefield moments that they talk about, where you're in this war, you're immersed into it, shit's going down, you're screaming. Like when I play Conquest, I get fucking into it a lot of the time, and I love that. Some of this stuff seemed a little over the top, which I really like, because you can do that customization. So I think that's cool that there's going to be something for like people like me that don't necessarily want to do that silly stuff, that don't want to do that mix and match stuff, and then someone like you who really wants to do that. It seems like that customization, that freedom that they're affording the community, is really going to make the difference for this game in the long term, I think, because it doesn't seem like it'll get stale.
Yeah, because definitely Battlefield Portal has the chance to be like ever evolving, and I'm sure it will be. Like the game modes that people will create will be insane.
Yeah, and it seems limitless. It seems like one week this will be the fucking trending game mode. The next week it's something else, and then it's something else. God damn it, I'm psyched for this. The last note that I had for Battlefield was the death of Call of Duty. Now I know you and I take different stances on this, and I think you are right. I think Call of Duty's still gonna sell, but I don't know, man. I think this might be the step that puts one of the first nails into the coffin of COD. Not the last one, but I definitely think that COD is gonna have to do something big if they want to recover from this.
I don't disagree. Like I definitely think you'll see a dip in sales, and it'll probably be similar to like Advanced Warfare. Like it'll just be another not so great selling game, or not Advanced War, Infinite Warfare.
Yep.
I have a feeling it'll be similar to that, but COD bounced back from that, so they'll bounce back from anything that happens.
Yeah,
But I
for sure
do agree that what Battlefield's doing will definitely probably push Call of Duty to make some changes, and I'm sure we'll see like changes for sure.
Yeah. And personally, I don't think we're speaking too soon on this. I know there's a lot of people out there, like a lot of other YouTubers that I've heard, will say, hey guys, the game just got fucking announced. Wait till it comes out, because you don't know what it's gonna be like. Don't get so hyped for it before it comes out, you fanboys or whatever. I think this is worth getting hyped about. Because even if it flops, this is a great attempt at being consumer friendly.
Oh, 100%. Like, they're definitely trying to do something for their community, which you see far less of that happening with other games.
Seriously, dude, I thought we were in the midst of one of the most anti-consumer um, trends in gaming, because the rise of microtransactions. It was getting a little bit better with the battle pass system, but we were just seeing games come out with less and less content. You know, Cold War is a great example because Cold War released with very few multiplayer maps, and they put all their time and effort into the free-to-play mode. It seemed like, which was Warzone, and then you had other games like Cyberpunk. Came out and had a bad launch, and then you had I'm trying to think of games before that. Actually, we haven't had much in a while, have we? But yeah, it just seems like we were in a really anti-consumer era, and I'm glad that this is coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully it just sparks other, like we were talking about. Hopefully it just sparks other games to do the same.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Set that trend.
Yeah, 100%. The only other
was there anything?
the only other thing I had on Battlefield was I remember, I think it was our first episode with that first trailer, and I was saying that I thought that Espinosa or whatever was going to be another operator that or specialist that we don't know about. And
yeah,
the trailer that came out for Portal, it's that Espinosa character is the main one holding the guns in the very beginning, and I noticed on the right shoulder, they have a patch that says Dozer on it, so I have a feeling the specialist name will be Dozer.
All right.
Still no idea as to what the specialist's abilities and all that'll be, but I feel like that's got to be another one of them that's quote unquote redacted.
I think you're probably right. And from the original trailer, you're talking about the one that performed the melee, right? And took the dog tags off?
Yes. And then later you see them during the tornado, you see them and they have a different face mask or gas mask on.
Good call. All right. I bet you're probably right about that. Fuck yeah. I can see it. But anyway, do we want to move on to XDefiant? Any last words for Battlefield?
No, I think I'm good.
Except can't wait for a beta. That's about it. But XDefiant. So the other game that got announced this week looks pretty sweet. It's by Ubisoft, and we both have extensive experience with Ubisoft, especially Tom Clancy games. So, you're optimistic for XDefiant?
Oh yeah, I think it looks like it has the potential to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think it does too, and I think it looks pretty cool. And it's free to play, so how can you complain? You know what I mean? It's it's free to play, even if it sucks. Who fucking cares, right? With Tom Clancy games, though, I am extremely worried that it's gonna fall prey to the Ubisoft mindset where they release a Tom Clancy game and then they completely forget about it for a year. I hope it's not one of those. I hope it's one that they address issues as they arise, and then and they handle things in a timely manner, because that was the problem that Brokepoint had a problem where it just sucked, but Wildlands and other things didn't get fixed appropriately. It took them months to fix issues. I hope that this doesn't fall prey to that.
Yeah, I agree. They did say in their trailer that they want the game to last for years or whatever, so I'm hoping that means that they'll put a little bit more time and effort into this than Breakpoint or some of games past. I hope it's similar to Rainbow Six.
Yeah. And if it's a games as a service project, then I could definitely see them doing that. You know what I mean? I think it's probably much more likely that they're going to be handling this better than just a flat out game that people have already bought. If people are putting money into it, it'll be good. Do you have any concerns for it? Like any worries? Besides who made it?
Not really, I guess. I mean, I guess there's always concerns just because it's Ubisoft, but at the same time, like, they do have successful games like Rainbow Six and
Yeah.
like Wildlands. I felt like
For
they did a
Honor.
pretty good For Honor, like, so I feel like it could be pretty good, but
Mhm.
I don't know, it's like their first. I don't know. I guess the more I think about it, I do kind of agree with you when you say it was kind of cartoony. Thinking about some of the outfits, the more I think about it, like they do seem a little bit more on like that cartoony out like side, but at the same time, like it's not Fortnite.
Yeah. No, it's not Fortnite. See, I was a little worried about the gunplay. I hope the gunplay is good because some of the free to play games, like I'm not sure if you played Warface, like Warface, the gunplay is significantly worse than a paid game, than Call of Duty or Battlefield, or even Apex. And I just hope it doesn't fall prey to something like that. But I think it's cool how they're mixing the lore between all these Tom Clancy games. I think that's pretty cool because the wolves are there, some Splinter Cell people, whatever. I'm not too into the other Tom Clancy games besides Ghost Recon, but
I played a lot of the
yeah, it looks cool.
Division. The Division
Oh yeah, that's right.
Division 1 and Division 2. I played a lot of those. I really enjoyed those. And those are what the other two factions that they have shown are from. So it's like the Echelon, Outcasts, Wolves from Breakpoint, and then the Cleaners.
Mm. So I'm a little, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, because you mentioned Echelon, that is a game mechanic that we've seen used twice so far, in Wildlands and in Breakpoint, and now they're bringing it for XDefiant. Do you think that's a melding of categories, or do you think they're trying to mix and match just previous things that they've already done? Because now that's kind of what I'm thinking, actually, with the Echelon. Because they did it for Wildlands, they did it for Breakpoint, now they're doing it for XDefiant. It's like the same mechanic, and it's got the same name. So I don't know, is that supposed to be a signal like, hey guys, this is one of these mechanics from another game that we're bringing in, or is it a way of like, hey, let's put in a new game mechanic without it actually being new? And it's just because it's Ubisoft that I even like think about these sorts of things. You know what I mean? If it was fucking anybody else, I wouldn't think about it.
Right.
But I've just seen them do it a few times already.
I think they're just kind of gonna not necessarily stick to what you know, but at the same time, I mean, if you look at like Battlefield, for example, like their classes are always similar classes, and I feel like it's just kind of the same thing because they did say that the Echelon in this is their quote unquote support, no, their support character, and their main job is for hiding info and gaining info.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I mean,
yeah, let's hope, man. I think I have a strong anti-Ubisoft bias, so I think that's probably where my reservations come in. But I can't wait. When does this come out? I have the webpage pulled up. Let me see. Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't think it has a release date yet.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'll definitely play it when it comes out, man. Hopefully it fucking kills, because if it kills, that would be great. It's just another game to throw into the roster. And you know what? That's funny. We were just talking about new IPs for FPS and how there really hasn't been any. And then this week we had XDefiant, and that's kind of a new IP. The gameplay definitely looked different. It didn't look similar to other games. I can't remember. Was this wasn't third person and then first person when you ADS, was it?
No, it's
it was
it's
first person all around.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
It's their first person arena shooter with like hero elements.
I'm kind of glad because I don't want another game with corner peeking. I used to really like that in Wildlands and I thought it was cool, but now I'm over it. I fucking get out of here, man. I don't want that third peeking anymore.
Yeah, Rogue Company took that to a whole new level. Like, I
Seriously.
feel like three peaking wasn't bad with Wildlands or like Breakpoint. It wasn't too bad, but
Hmm.
it gets exploited beyond belief in Rogue Company.
For sure. Yeah, that's probably actually where, now that I think about it, there were a lot of frustrating situations in that game that might have,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
persuaded me not to drift towards that mechanic anymore.
The one of the things about XDefiant that I'm pretty psyched about though is just the fact that it's gonna be like class based, so it's like familiar but different at the same time.
Yeah, and it'll be cool to see some characters from other games come in there. You know, one thing that I always look at when I look at these trailers and stuff that come out is the comment section. A lot of people are pissed, man, that this is another game that has Splinter Cell elements, and they still haven't come out with a new Splinter Cell game. A lot of people are pissed about that. Are you a big Splinter Cell fan or?
I used to play a lot of Splinter Cell before I got into like multiplayer games, but once I started getting into
Mhm.
multiplayer games, like quit caring less about Splinter Cell. And
Yeah.
all honesty, this is probably unpopular opinion, but I almost preferred what was it? The PlayStation Siphon Filter.
Yes, Siphon Filter. I fucking love that game. I played it on the PlayStation 1. I remember.
Yeah, I think I almost preferred that to Splinter Cell, but then again,
Yeah.
um
Forgot about that.
Splinter Cell Blacklist had a multiplayer that was it was actually kind of fun if you were looking for something different to play.
Hmm. You know, I think people kind of got to give up on that Splinter Cell stuff, man. Like, they've been teasing it, but I think what Ubisoft has been doing is just bringing it back to try to give the fans something to chew on, you know.
Right.
But I don't think that game's coming back. Cause anyway, isn't Sam Fisher like 60 or something now, in the lore? He's old.
Yeah, he's definitely older for sure.
Cause when he showed up in Breakpoint, man, he had that beard, like that old gray beard, and he was just worn down. He needed Nomad to do everything for him. Um, seriously. Anyway, did you have anything? Any last comments for XDefiant?
No, not that I can think of.
All right, cool. Well, then we'll go ahead and move on to the EA Play. So I got this pulled up. Everything that was announced at the EA Play. At least that's what the article is titled. This fucking video. Whatever. I'll just leave it up. But anyway, so EA Play was actually pretty fucking cool. Like I mentioned earlier, that it took 42 minutes to get to Battlefield, but that 42 minutes wasn't necessarily a bore. There was some cool stuff. Just going through my notes, the first thing that I have up here is Apex. We don't play Apex right now. We might get into it for the arena mode, but what they're doing with the lore and the story for that game is really cool, and it really looks like inspired. It looks like the people who did it care a lot about it, which is something I can get behind. It looks fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree for sure. It looks pretty sweet.
And then the arena mode, you said it had been out for a while. I didn't know that because I haven't played that game in forever. In terms of battle royales, man, because Apex, is mainly a battle royale. That's what it came out with. Do you think that this is kind of a side note, but do you think that trend's going to continue in terms of battle royale being the most popular thing?
I think it will until they come up with something new or something different.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see what the hazard mode is going to be for Battlefield 2042, but right now it almost seems, I feel like Battlefield is just stealing the stage. Everyone I talk to is super psyched about that game. A lot of the stuff I see online, everybody's super stoked about it. I think Battle Royale is going to start going by the wayside a little bit, in my personal opinion, because also one of the big problems we see with Battle Royales is just the infectious cheating that's everywhere. You know what I mean? Warzone, like I know so many people that have quit Warzone specifically because of the cheating, and I feel like that's specifically a Battle Royale problem. You know what I mean? It's not as noticeable in a multiplayer, and it's not as frustrating in a multiplayer. But I see people kind of drifting away from that. That might be my personal opinion, but I think once Battlefield comes out, I think that's definitely going to change. Personally.
De- Depending on what they do with Hazard Zone, I could agree if Hazard Zone's something different, because I heard it was similar to Escape from Tarkov, I think.
Yes.
So it's still Battle Royale-esque, but different at the same time. So I don't know. We'll see. If it's something completely new, we might start seeing a shift.
For sure. And then Grid Legends. So Codemasters, I wrote this down because I wasn't sure what happened. Codemasters, I guess, is now part of EA, or is there some sort of partnership there or whatever? Those guys that do like Grid and Dirt and some of the other ones that I wasn't as familiar with. But I think are they part of EA or just partnered with them? Did you catch that?
I am honestly not sure because I've never really played any of never really played very many of their games, if any of them actually.
For sure. So I recently played Dirt 5. That was the first Dirt that I've played. That game's pretty cool. It's a fun racing game. Grid is cool. This Grid Legends looks pretty sweet. I know they make good racing games, is my point. And what's cool about it, so Xbox really just seems to be the place for fucking racing games, because on Xbox Game Pass they have like these Codemasters games, and they have like those EA games, and they have Forza, right? So it seems like Xbox is just the place to go for fucking racing games, which I'm super stoked about. But yeah, Grid Legends looks sweet. It's got like the live story, live actors. They're trying to go do more in depth there. I'm not too familiar with the other Grid games, so I don't know what their story mode was like before, but that could be something that we get into maybe. This is just a side note that I wrote down. Did you watch the pre-show for EAplay? The EAplay?
I did watch some of it, yeah.
Okay. I wrote down this note. Let me just see if you can relate. I wrote down pre-show hosts are pretty lame. It was kind of funny. I'm laughing about it because as I was watching, the hosts were making comments that they seemed like they were trying to relate to gamers, and they just totally didn't relate at all. And I'm like, dude, that just fell so flat. But anyway, I don't want to focus on that. But it's just something I found amusing. Lost in Random is this new game coming out that they announced yesterday, which I think we both thought looked pretty cool. Like, it looked just like a fun game, a fun-inspired game. What's wrong with that nowadays?
Right, yeah, because there's a few, but I can't name any off the top of my head, but it definitely seems like one of those games you could get into just to basically get away from, like, the rage and the cancer that is multiplayer.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely in today's market with gaming, it definitely feels like everything is a corporate decision. Everything is a bottom line decision. So we don't see a ton of new stuff coming out, like a ton of new IP, unless they're by indie studios. And the problems that indie studios face is, they just don't have a lot of the resources to put the same depth and quality into some of their games. So I'm happy to see this come up because I remember back in the day, you used to go look at the Xbox 360 playlist, let's say, at those games. There were a ton of games that looked just for fun. Like they were fun projects that people liked, that they had interest in, and they wanted to make them enjoyable. And that was the vibe I got from this, which is a vibe I haven't had in a while. I don't know about you. I can't think of the last time I was like, oh, this game just looks fun.
Right, for sure. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and that they're not going for the esports direction, which is another big vibe that I picked up. That actually I'm just thinking about now. Like, a lot of these games, they are focusing on esports, and it's nice to see some games pulling back from that, detracting from that a little bit. It's nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the final thing I have for EAplay was Dead Space remake. We knew it was coming. We finally got the announcement or the reveal, and it looked Cool. Are you stoked? I'm fucking stoked.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like I played the Dead Space a little bit, but I got into it like way late. But
Hmm.
I think I'm ready for like a next gen like good horror game. Like it's been a while since I played a good one.
Yeah, that's another good thing. When is the last time we played a good horror game? I guess they just came out with Resident Evil 8, but I didn't play
Right.
that shit.
Well,
um,
and I mean
yeah.
realistically, like Resident Evil, in my opinion, they've always been good, fun games. I've always really liked them as well as the movies, but they're not really horror. It's more of just like a action.
Puzzle.
Yeah. It just seems like more of an action game to me. Like I want something that's actually like, gonna fucking scare the shit out of me.
For sure. I remember one of the best horror games I ever played was Outlast. 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 The first Outlast. I didn't like the second one too much, but the first Outlast was legit, and then Evil Within. Those are like my two favorites.
Yep, for sure.
And yeah, dude, fucking horror games. Yeah, that's God. That is not really a thing, is it? I
Not
can't.
not on console, but there are a couple people I watch that play a lot of horror games on VR,
Oh.
and I think almost that might be the best market for VR in my opinion.
Right.
Playing horror games in VR, I think would be something else.
Yeah, that would freak me out though. I think get a little too freaked out because one night I'd get like too stoned and put on the VR helmet and then get all freaked out. But that sounds super fun.
Sock up the wall as something comes around the corner.
Seriously, dude, I get freaked out at night. So when you get stoned at night and it's like dark and you get afraid to just go to the bathroom. So I don't know if I could do that, but to be honest, man, have you tried VR? Have you like put on an Oculus Rift or PlayStation VR or anything? You gave it a spin?
I've never played with PlayStation VR, but I have played Oculus. I played Beat Saber, which was fun. I'd absolute garbage at it, but it was fun. And then it was the Walking Dead like series or whatever on the Oculus. I was playing that at a friend's house, and it was pretty sweet. Like there was a couple like jump scares that got me.
Yeah, for sure. I tried it and I got just super disoriented. I tried Beat Saber and yeah, like you, I was horrible at it, and I was about kind of done with it. So this is kind of a side note, but VR gaming didn't take off like they expected it to, right? Because there was a time where they were all coming out with competing VR headsets, but that trend never really started, did it?
No, I don't know. I think the Oculus kind of took over, and now they kind of just control that market. But I agree. I don't think it didn't take off like they wanted it to. But it's also because I don't know if they've really made any like super good quality VR games.
That's true.
And
yeah, that's definitely true.
The other thing too, on top of that, with the exception of a couple of my friends, most of my friends everyone plays on console. So we could potentially be like a minority. Like there's a chance that maybe PC players are more into VR than like console players, just because with the exception of PlayStation VR, Xbox has never had a VR. The closest they came was the Kinect, and that was nowhere close to VR.
Oh God, the Kinect. Oh. I'm gonna look this up, see if there's a stat for it for VR sales or something, because I think it's kind of cool that it didn't take off, because I think kind of we were all expecting the Ready Player One future with VR, and it never really happened. And I wonder if it's because people just like to not play that way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't like to be that immersed. But so here's some virtual reality statistics from July 7th actually. Oh shit, So I guess the global AR, that's augmented reality, and VR market is expected to grow to 209.2 billion by next year. Holy shit. And then the VR gaming revenues reached 22.9 billion last year. There are more than 171 million VR users worldwide. Jesus.
Yeah, so it's a
And it's that's crazy, dude.
little bit bigger than I think both of us expected, but
Yeah, and it says right here that demand for standalone VR devices will grow over 16 times between 2018 and 2022. I'm not sure what that means, but it just keeps growing. 70% of VR headset owning consumers have bought a game on it. That's not a very good statistic in my opinion. Only 70% of people with a VR headset have bought a game.
So do the other 30% just use it to watch porn?
Yeah.
Like what else would you
Seriously.
use your VR headset for?
I don't fucking know, because if you're just watching Netflix, like I have watched Netflix on a VR, but you're just like in a fake couch, you're on a fake couch in a fake living room watching a fake TV, and you could just do that in real life. I mean, yeah, only 70%. Could you imagine if that was a statistic for the PlayStation or the Xbox? 70% of PlayStation users have bought a game on it. You would be like, what are people doing?
Right. Well, to be fair, since I've gotten my Xbox Series S, I purchased Game Pass, but since I purchased Game Pass, I haven't purchased a game.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, if we're gonna be using, okay, that makes more sense. But get this. So China is projected to have the most substantial VR spending worldwide in 2024. So I guess it's growing most in China.
Oh, see that?
Which makes sense.
There's your problem. They're not buying games. They're using it to figure out how to like make nukes and shit.
Totally. They're expecting greater demand though. They said they're expected to ship out 70 million units by 2023.
Wow.
30 million units annually by the end of 2023. We'll see if any of these things come true, man. I don't know. Facebook was the world's largest vendor of VR headsets in 2020. Facebook?
That's weird.
Do you think that's the Facebook marketplace, maybe? People buying used ones? I don't think that counts as a new unit, by the way. That does not count as a unit sale. If you're taking into the account like Craigslist and shit, that is not a market sale. In my opinion, because that's not a new unit going on the market. Because Facebook doesn't sell new shit, do they? I know they have ads. I haven't been on Facebook in years, so I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure either. I got banned on Facebook a while back and can't make another one.
You got banned?
Yeah.
What'd you get banned for, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Oh, really?
I posted a picture. We were working on our fire pit in the back, and we had just finished. My buddy Sean just finished bricking it. The brick was done, and I posted an update picture on my Facebook. Less than a week later, I was banned.
Oh man.
That was the very last thing I posted, was an update picture of my fire pit.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's fucked. I was expecting to hear a story about how you cussed out some Call of Duty fanboy or something. Someone was making comments on Facebook, and no, see, that's what I would have gotten banned for, because I got in a lot of those Twitter fights with people. Oh Jesus. So I had to get off.
See, I'm the kind of person that I'll read something that I like disagree with or whatever, and like I'll just keep scrolling. I'll scroll past it. I might say some shit to like my buddies later, be like, you know what I seen on Facebook? I seen this fucking asshole that thought whatever, but I won't. I don't comment on it because I'm like, I don't know. It's not worth it.
It's really not, man. But it's like, it's addicting, you know, when people are commenting back and you're just getting people triggered about stupid stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes I'd get pissed off, but all right. Cool, man. Well, I don't have anything else to bring up on this particular show. Do you?
The only other thing I have would be for XDefiant. PC players in the US and Canada can play August 5th.
What?
Yeah, you sign up at playxdefiant.com and you can register to basically play a beta. And PC players in the US and Canada get to do it. They get to play first and they play August 5th.
Oh, damn.
But
That's so quick.
I think they're going to start rolling out after they play, and they'll probably get some feedback from PC players. I would assume right around the same time they'll probably roll out to consoles, so console players can get a chance to play it.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's really quick. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that gives me hope about this game is that they haven't released a launch date, but they're trying to get players in to get their feedback already. So
Yeah.
I feel like they might actually end up being more community driven than we're giving them credit for.
Definitely. That's, and that brings up another quick side note that I heard. I think it was Jax Frags or Level Cap talking about this, where like some games nowadays were falling prey to not having their game tested early enough. And that's probably a really good point if Ubisoft is doing that, so then they have time to make changes before they go to that wider release.
Right. Hopefully, so when the game comes out, they'll actually have a polished game.
Yeah, that would be fucking great. If they did that, and if XDefiant comes out good and solid, that could be a total rejuvenation for me with Ubisoft.
Right.
Because I've been so fed up with their Tom Clancy shit, well, their Ghost Recon shit lately, that I've really been done with the company. But if this comes out solid and they do us right here, I will totally back them again.
Right.
And I'll be one of their fans. And Far Cry 6 looks pretty cool. That's a game we have yet to talk about on the podcast. I don't know too much about it, but that game looks cool. And from what I hear, a lot of people are pretty excited about that one too.
Yeah, I know some people that are into that. But yeah, no, I think if XDefiant can come out with a well-polished game, with the success that they've had with Rainbow Six, we could hopefully see that success in XDefiant, and it could potentially be another one of the big esports games.
Yeah, for sure. That would be cool. Because like they were talking up the esports scene for Apex Legends at EAplay yesterday, and that's a free to play. And if this is the same way, man, I'll totally be behind that because, I mean, I don't like the esports scene necessarily for every single game, but it gives you something to shoot for, and I know the esports scene definitely keeps a game alive. You know what I mean? Maybe it makes it more sweaty, but it gives you a good reason to play.
Right.
And you feel more invested in the game. I think we both. Yeah, do you agree with that?
I agree. And then we see skill-based matchmaking and we complain about it all the time, but honestly, I think esports coming out has just increased the amount of, well, I guess not increased, but decreased the amount of casual players and increased the amount of people who want to make it. And you can't really blame them. It's kind of like you grow up playing football. Your dream's probably to play in the NFL, so you're going to do everything you can to get there.
Yeah.
So I have the same thing that that's what's happening in video games now too, especially the big ones like Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, just the main Rocket League, Overwatch, the big games that you see in esports, those are the sweatiest lobbies you'll ever be in.
Yeah, and you know what's so cool about that is that each game has their own pros. So whenever a new esports game comes on the market, it's almost like a new opportunity.
Right. Exactly.
Oh yeah, because I don't know, but have you ever seen any pros cross over into other games?
Not
professionally, I mean.
Not really professionally. I know that there was some Halo pros that eventually went to Call of Duty back in the day. I can't think of any names off of the top of my head, but I know there were some that switched, and then some of them are still involved with their organization, the Call of Duty organizations.
Okay. Shit, I don't even know, but that's cool, man. So yeah, there's some hope there. I think that ends on a good note, actually. Yeah, I actually feel way better about that now to talking it out. So hopefully that comes in and kills. I'll love it. You know, I will love that. I mean, no one wants a game to fail nowadays, except I do kind of want Call of Duty to fail. But that's more personal than anything else. But yeah. Anyway, did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, no, I think I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, I feel good too. We'll keep up with that XDefiant, see how the launch goes. I'm sure there's gonna be people talking about it. I have a PC, so I might try to download it. I don't know if this old piece of shit can run it, because I knew they came out with like a new processor. It's like the 3000 RTX or some shit. I don't know, but so I don't know if I can even run it, but we'll see. Anyway, if you guys made it this far into the podcast, appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe and like if you think it wasn't a complete waste of your time. And we'll go ahead and see you in the next podcast. We'll try to get this one up as soon as possible because it's very it's time relevant, time dependent. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next Deathmatch and Chill.